What's up, guys? It's New Year's Eve. Today we're going to take a ride out to kind of a secluded area where I like to do a lot of tuning, and it's a lot nicer because there's nobody around, no traffic typically, no cops especially. We're gonna take a ride out there to see if we can get these. I bought deatschwerks or deatschwerks, however you want to pronounce it. deatschwerks 72s for my Turbo LS C10. They came out of an S550, so like a newer Coyote Mustang. So that's the height they are. They come with the Stage 2 Whipple kits that they sell for those cars. They're like a universal 72-pound injector and they're EV6 connector. So same connector as what I have on my harness on the truck currently, because it just had stock LSA ones, and obviously those are way over duty cycle, so I couldn't. I had to stop running them. They never gave me a consistent air to fuel ratio up top because they were just. I feel like they reacted differently every time I drove the truck at wide open throttle, 5, 6, 6,500 RPM. So it was time to get new ones. So these 72s seem to be doing really well so far. I just really want to get the truck up into the, say, if you're going to take it down to the track RPM range, sitting at 4,000 RPMs and above for a long period of time. I really want to get it to the point where the fuel table is pretty much perfect. That way when I do take it to the track or whatever, or I have a race with a friend, it's all set. I don't have to have the scanner hooked up to it to notice that I'm lean somewhere. So that's what we're going to do. So I'll kind of go through a couple quick things, and this isn't for a beginner. I'm going to say this video will be for somebody that has been playing with HP tuners maybe, for a little while and knows how to set up graphs in the scanner and and input data and adjust fueling, the VE table and all that stuff. So let's just say this is for like the novice HP tuners guy, which I still am. I don't consider myself good at this at all, but the truck, knock on wood, I've never had an issue with it. No bad head gaskets, I haven't blown anything up. So I say I'm okay at it. So let's get started with that. I'll kind of show you what we got going on my scanner, and then we'll get to the spot and I'll kind of run through, kind of like a vlog type thing. That way you guys can kind of come along with me and see what happens. Alright, so this is the scanner, and this is how I have mine set up. Let's see if I can get a better view. Here we go. So here is my wideband input. So that's what's the my AEM wideband is showing me in real time on itself. This is my AFR commanded. The ECU depended on, where it is on the VE table, throttle position, so on and so forth. Your AFR commanded is going to change. And then there is the AFR error percentage. So that's going to tell you on, let me see, on this graph here, AFR error, it's going to tell you how much percentage it is off, lean or rich or what have you. I do have boost set up here in my PID, which is kind of handy because my boost gauge is a piece of shit and doesn't work properly. But that was because I was testing something else and I was putting too much air to it and I kind of broke the cheap boost gauge. So this gives me an accurate reading. IATs, obviously, it's good to have. Engine coolant temp, RPM. Here's your advanced, timing advanced, throttle position, your bank 1, bank 2, long-term, short-term, fuel trims, all that stuff here. And I like to keep duty cycle there. CPU idle, you don't really need that. RPM obviously is good to have. Knock retard good, spark, map, TPS. And then obviously, so when you're, when it runs good and everything, your most important things are here, your readings on your wideband, your AFR command, your error, and that's how you get the error on your histogram. So that's how I have it set up and it's set up through right here, AC pressure sensor. That's how mine's set up, how the wideband gets inputted to the stock ECU, and then you do a conversion to get it on the wideband, which I'm not going to show that. Like I said, this is for somebody that kind of already has it all set up. I just wanted to do a vlog deal and kind of see how I do things. So that's how I have it all set up for scanning, while I data log and kind of dial in the table. And here, I'll go to the table. So this is it here. It's far from smooth. I definitely, actually, it was a lot worse. I smoothed it out a lot, but you know, this is how the truck travels and reacts where it does. Kind of follows this line here up into the RPMs. And rev limiter is only at 65, so we're not really focused on any of this, so to speak. You know, 68 and beyond, we're not really doing anything with. So basically, my, you know, all my stuff stops here, and then what I'll do is I'll just smooth all this just so the table looks good. Oh, what did I do there? I hate when this happens. Hold on. Here we go. Back to the primary VE. So, you know, obviously our main focus is kind of here. So obviously this is what we'll be adjusting. And going back to the scanner, what you would do is typically, if you'd never use AFR error, which I think it's critical, I think it's absolutely critical that you have to use AFR error to dial in any vehicle, because your volumetric efficiency is going to fluctuate no matter what your setup is. Nothing's going to be exactly the same. And honestly, a good dyno tune or a shitload of street tuning is going to be your best bet at dialing it in, making it reliable, so on and so forth. There's really no other way to do it. You can copy and paste the start and then, you know, say make everything fat. But, you know, that's a good way to do it. And that's kind of what I did with a sloppy tune. But you can't just leave a tune in there and expect it to work for your engine, because your volumetric efficiency is going to differentiate depending on temperature, cam, what size engine, 485360, what intake, what turbo, intercooler. It doesn't matter. Everything matters. Exhaust, it's all different. So nothing's exactly the same. So it's critical, in my opinion, to do AFR error and dial in your VE table that way. So like I said, it has deatschwerks 72s in it. Let's get out of here. We'll go over to General and find our fuel injectors here. So flow rate versus KPA. According to deatschwerks, 58 psi of these flow 83.5 pounds per hour. So that's what a stock LS truck rails run. If it's a return system, returnless, doesn't matter, but that's what they run for fuel pressure, is 58 psi typically. And so that's what I have it set as, 83.5 flow rate. And what else here? And actually, deatschwerks gave me all the minimum injector pulse, all your flow rates, flow rate multipliers by volts, minimum pulse, offsets, all your voltage offsets, short pulse adder, injection, all that stuff. It gave me all that they already had graphed it all to literally copy and paste on HP tuners, which is awesome. So that was really good, and the truck started and ran pretty good. It was rich and idle, and it ran okay. I had to do a little fueling adjusting because my stock LSA injectors, they didn't have the right data. I just kind of had the flow rate in there as 52 pounds, and they worked okay, like I said, but they were maxed out, and it was I really shouldn't have messed with it like that, and I should have really put the proper injectors in it. But the speed shop local to me had the LSA injectors in stock at the time, and I screwed up my decap, so that's what I used for the time being. But they were like 140% duty cycle at like 6,000, 6,500, which is my rev limit, and it was not good. So, and I even went to the track like 3 times like that, but it ran good. But I think these will definitely help. And plus, I was only, I think I had it at 11.5 pounds was like where my gate flatlined. So the gate would hold it at exactly 11.5 pounds. So, you know, for this winter and going into the 21 season, I want to get this truck up to 14 pounds. It's max spark. I have it at, I don't know, let me see. I think I have it like 14.5 degrees. Looking at my spark table. High octane. Yeah, I mean, I have it like from 52 on, it's 14, and then 14.5, back down to 14. So basically, you know, where it's going to make all its power, it's 14 degrees, 14.5 degrees, call it, at the very bottom of your high octane main spark table. So typically, usually a truck that doesn't have a cam and has 14 pounds, 14 degrees in it, typically will make around 500. This truck's got a Elgin 1840P, which is obviously considered a sloppy stage 2. So I'm going to say at 14 degrees, it's probably going to make a little more. I'm not, you know, any expert, but I think it'll make closer to 600. It's only a GT45, but so it might not make quite 600, but yeah, so that's typically what I got going on. And like I said, you know, deatschwerks had all the copy and paste data for these injectors to get it going. Because these were like a universal 72, like I was saying. So that'll be good. So like I said, they seem to be working really good so far. I just had to add a 1/4-inch spacer between the intake and the fuel rails just because they were a little taller. I think they're considered like don't quote me, they're like LS2 height, I want to say, or something. I don't know. I don't really know, but they're a 1/4-inch taller than a stock truck injector, so I needed a 1/4-inch plastic spacer for all 4 corners of the fuel rail that goes down to the intake manifold, so to make them sit right, and they don't leak or anything. Everything seems kosher, so yeah, let's go pull the truck out and we'll get going here. It's what time is it? About 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so let's start getting dark in about 2 hours, so I'd like to get there soon here and be back. So let's get the truck out of the garage here. Get started up here. Not that a cold start. It's about, I don't know, I think it's around 40 degrees right now here in New England. Let's see. I guess you could call it sort of a cold start if you're down south or out west. Down south, I guess. And it's gasoline, so it starts easy anyway. It's not like E85. Need those, I suppose. Go get some gas. I gotta fill the fuel cell up and then we'll head to the spot. Alright, we're all gassed up. Let's head to the spot. Alright guys, so we are at the spot. As you can see, that's a good straightaway. And back there goes on to the highway. There's another straightaway, probably another 3/4 of a mile long around this bend. If you look way down there, there's another long corner. So this is like where I like to do it, just because it's so secluded. Not really any traffic comes down to get onto the highway. There's a couple of roads that come off this road and then it goes right onto the highway, so it's kind of like a trucker's entrance onto the highway. So it's really nice. You can really get on it and you're not worried about hurting anybody and that sort of deal. So anyways, got my handy mouse here. Makes it so nice when you're sitting in the truck trying to fuck with shit. Let me turn this down so it's not so bright. Let's see. So, as you can see, we got a lot of good data. You know, it's a 2%, sometimes a little more, 5, 3. Which is, you know, less than ideal, so obviously we're going to clean that up, but you really got to drive the thing a lot to really get a lot of good data so you can accurately update your VE table. So as you can see, I made it fat. Like I said, rev limiter is 6,500, so it basically stops here. I make it nice and fat on the top end, so I don't have to worry about hurting anything. So it's still a little rich up top. You know, like I said, any more than 2% lean is a little less than ideal, so you're definitely, I'm going to clean that up as best I can here. That's kind of how you do it. Looking back at this last, you know, this last data log. Let me look here. Yeah, it's not bad. But, yeah, so we're going to clean that up. And that also, what that'll do is drop the duty cycle down too, because obviously it's, you know, when it's at, you know, such an RPM, and it's not 11.5, obviously you're commanding more fuel at that point, so definitely want to take some fuel out of it. That way you're not working the injectors more than they have to. But so that's what we're working with. I'm gonna do a couple more wide open throttle things after I update this. So like I said, what you typically do is in this, you know, I kind of got everything. I'm just gonna highlight everything, the entire table, all the way across, all the way down. Copy it, copy the whole thing, come over here to engine, obviously go to airflow, and primary VE, open that up, and then we'll just go like this, highlight the whole thing. Now you don't want to overshoot, how do I want to word this? You don't want to overshoot pulling fuel out of it, and then you'll be lean. So what you would do is paste special, multiply by %half. You do that, and then obviously all these numbers change all the way down. So when you unhighlight it like that, bam. So that's just where everything I modified right here. But I multiplied it by half, the percent by half. So, you know, say it was, say down here, you know, it was like, I don't know, 2, 3, 4% lean, rich down here. It basically took it, cut that in half, so richen it up 2%, or, you know, however it works, you know what I mean? So you don't wanna, you wanna work into the perfect AFR. You don't wanna just be like, you know, paste by %, and then it's gonna do exactly what the scanner told you. Sometimes you might overshoot it if you didn't make enough runs to get accurate data. So, you know, you work up to it, then obviously make sure you save it. And then now we have that saved, I can kind of go ahead and download that into the computer. Let's see, so that's saved. And we just got to get out of the scanner here. Disconnect from vehicle. Disconnect it. Huh? Unhandled exception. Hold on, now we get a problem here. It's occurred if you click continue, the application will ignore this error and attempt to continue. Okay. Oh, that's great. Okay, so anyways, I saved it, so that's why you always save it right after you modify it, because that sucks. So I don't know what the hell this is gonna do now that I but anyways, I'll get this into the computer, and then we'll do some more wide open throttle runs, and then probably get out of here so we don't pester anybody. So get back with you in a minute. Alright guys, another update. Let's see, so did a couple more runs. Let's see. As you can see, still rich on the top end, which isn't necessarily always a bad thing. So obviously copy and multiply by percent and paste it on the VE table. So, you know, say for example 11.31 in, you know, in half, whatever that ends up being, 5, whatever. But anyway, so same deal. Copy it, multiply by percent, paste it on your VE table. Same deal. Comes up like this, like highlighted, noting that you changed all this recently. I'll open this up a little so you can see it. That's the fuel table. It's still a little rough. It's a little spiky here and there, but you know, you can smooth it if you choose to. But every engine's gonna want, you know, different volumetric efficiency. So this is it so far. This is what my truck wants according to AFR error. So yeah, so did a couple more runs. I mean, there's a few houses on this straightaway. I don't want to pester them too much, so I don't know how many more runs I'm going to do before I ball out of here. But, you know, there's really no traffic up where I do it, so it's not a huge deal. But I'm trying to think of some other things to tell you guys. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, like I said, I mean, AFR error is probably crucial, most crucial thing. What I was looking at, you know, the truck's like, duty cycle's okay. I don't know what the typical you know, duty cycle rating is, but I mean, seems like the higher RPMs, we're talking like 70, and then, you know, you go into this run here, you zoom into this, you're talking like 70% duty cycle at the top, 67. You know, for those 2 big runs I did. Click over to this one. You know, so the peak, you know, click here and then you can play it. You know, yeah. I mean, it was like 80% duty cycle. I feel like with 72s, that could probably be better. I mean, I could be a little lack of pump. It's just an AEM 400 external pump, so I mean, it probably wouldn't be a bad thing maybe to add another one with it in series or in parallel with it, to give me some more fuel, you know, to keep that fuel pressure there. But I don't know. I don't really know what these, I mean, maybe the truck's making a lot more power than I think it is, you know, according to, you know, when you look at volumetric efficiency tables. You can kind of look at what truck makes more power where and stuff if you look at tunes. And, you know, obviously the more efficient they are, the more power they're making, you know. So it could probably use another pump, honestly, but for now this will be good. 14 degrees spark, you know. I don't see what it touched for boost. It looks like it peaked at like almost 12. Yeah, it touched 12 that time. Let's look at this run, see what this run did. Let's see what it peaked at. Watching that gauge. Going up, and then... yeah, it touched 13 there, so it's getting pretty close to 14 pounds. Like I said, I'll leave it probably right at, once I get up to that point, 14 pounds, and that'll probably be it. I'll probably leave it, you know, maybe turn it up a little more another time, but done plenty of tuning here, so yeah, so that's probably going to be it, guys, for now. Like I said, I'm not going to pester these people that live on this road too much more. I'll probably ball out of here and let it live another day. So that's it, folks. Well, thanks for watching and everything. I appreciate that. Probably not going to edit this much. This will probably just be kind of like raw footage between scenes, and I'll kind of just do what I got to do in between, you know, video scenes. But all right, man. Appreciate it, guys. Talk to you guys later. that's about it. So it's gonna be the end of the video. I figured I guess I'd just give you guys something to keep in mind when you're tuning, how important doing AFR air really is. So, but yeah, so I appreciate you guys that watch this video, and I'll be back soon.